Gaming Jesus back with another vid here, and we're going to be predicting the 2022/23 season in the Scottish Premiership. I like doing these vids every year, can't deny it. But last year, I didn't get anything right, and usually you get like one or two right. You know, I think this year it's going to be a bit easier. I feel like some teams are worse than others. Some teams are clear of a pack, and some teams are just going to win stuff. Giga T. But anyway, check out Fog Football if you want to see our joint predictions and also European predictions. That video will be up soon. But you have to kick off at last in the league, and of course last goes straight down. And I think there's only one team. I mean, people can have their opinions, of course, but in my opinion, there's only one team that is going to finish last, and that is St Johnstone. They've done nothing, in my opinion, to warrant being placed higher than this. Last season was an absolute disaster. We've seen in pre-season that they have not been that good, to be perfectly honest. Callum Davidson, I feel like, will be gone probably halfway through the season. I mean, of course he got that cup double. I mean, everyone's talking about, they'll give him a statue, they'll give him that, which I think is fair enough, but it's actually mad. He done the cup double with St Johnstone, and look at last season, man. Very, very lucky there was a team even shiter than them in the league, and that was Dundee. But St Johnstone, ever since that cup season, I mean, they've just continuously lost their best players. They've just not been able to replace them. It is what it is. We move on to 11th place. And 11th place is a wee bit, you know, toastier in 11th place to pick a team, but I am going to go with Motherwell. Yes, you're thinking, how in the name of Christ, Chris Benoit or Motherwell going to finish 11th? They are top 5 team. They are in Europa Conference League football, European football. Aye, but they're shite. I mean, they're actually currently 1-0 deficit to Sligo Rovers. That game is tomorrow. This video will be getting uploaded on the 27th. So, I mean, they could overturn that. They could go on to pump whoever they play next in the next round, Sparta Prague or whatever. That's just no going to happen. But yeah, their signings have been absolute shite, to be perfectly honest. I mean, of course, they're still looking to replace Tony Watt. Of course, they lost him 2 windows ago, but they're still looking to replace his goals. It's not really happening. And I just don't really see them doing anything, especially with Graham Alexander. I think he's got to go if they don't get past Sligo. I mean, even to attempt to save this season, he's got to go. But yeah, their signings just not that good. McGabby at the back's a fucking bomb scare. Stevie O'Donnell, I mean, the guy, O'Donnell's alright, but he's not the sort of guy that's going to single-handedly carry a team from 11th to like 5th. You know, not going to happen. Coming in though, at 10th place, I'm going to go with Ross County. Mega top 6 last season. Malky Mackay, big reason for that, but another big reason, Regan Charles Cook. He's away, which says to me that's no happening anymore. I mean, they've brought in a lot of new signings. We see this in the Scottish League. Teams, their contracts run out, they move on to new pastures green or whatever. But for example, here, we just see them like most of these teams, apart from like really St Johnstone or Motherwell, have actually brought in loads of new players. You know, we saw it with Hibs in Aberdeen, so that's intriguing for Ross County. I think they'll have enough to stay up, but I do feel like it's going to be much lower down for them. Coming in at 9th place, I'm going to go with Kelly. Derek McKinns, he'll keep them up, but he's not going to do much more than that. I see people placing them in the top 6. Aye, they've got Jordan Jones, aye, they've got Kyle Lafferty, but I would be shocked if Kilmarnock finished in the top 6, man. I really would be. I mean, I don't know why everyone's giving them this amount of hype, to be perfectly honest, but I mean, hopefully, if you're a Kelly fan, they stay up, but everyone wants them to go down because they're plastic pitches. But in terms of other plastic pitches, we've got Livy, but I'm not putting them in it. I'm putting St Mirren. Yes, St Mirren coming in there at 8th place. Again, kind of like Ross County. They're an alright club. They'll probably stay up. Stephen Robinson will do his best here, but there's just nothing really spectacular about the wee Paisley team. St Mirren, the Badgies, or the Buddies, that's it. The fucking Badgies. The Onion Badgies, yeah, they're not that good, but they'll probably stay up if we're looking at it like that. Coming into 7th place, I'm actually going to go with Hibernian. I do not mean their pre-season has been absolute shite. They're already at the cup. We're still in July. They fielded an eligible player they don't even want, Rocky Bashuri. And that completely went out, fucking jobbed them clean out. And, I mean, they've brought in the likes of Marshall and McGeady. I mean, they've also brought in a wonder kid from Benfica, but they're all... Like, what is McGeady going to be able to offer them? Is he, like, McGeady could be whipping out McGeady spins left, right and centre and sticking at top bins, but I severely doubt that, to be honest. So I'm putting Hibs in at 6th. No, 7th even. But coming in at 6th, we have got Livingston. I feel like Livingston... They should have got top 6 last season. I feel like just Davy Martindale gets them across the line. The Tony Macaroni is a fortress. As much as it is a plastic pile of pish, it still is a fortress in my eyes. And I just feel like with that, I actually think it would be very intriguing to see Livingston in Europe. I actually feel like if the Tony Macaroni, Livingston, could fucking get an 0-0 draw against most teams in Europe or not, I mean, they would get pumped about 9-0 in the away leg, but... You know, that's just my opinion there. But Livingston coming in at 6th. Coming in at 5th now, I mean, we're narrowing down Aberdeen. Aberdeen finished 10th last season. They've sold Calvin Ramsey. They've sold Lewis Ferguson. But they've brought in a lot of players. And I just feel like they're going to get it done. I feel like they're going to move back up to the top 6. I mean, Aberdeen, with the finances that they've got compared to the other teams, and I think they've actually bought well, which is important. So I feel like they're going to be able to get back into the top 6, but I don't think they're going to be able to touch the top 4, you know. So I think they're going to even finish below their new firm Derby rivals. And that is Dundee United. I feel like Dundee United, well, I actually feel like Dundee United could do something in Europe. They've got a tough game coming up against Tulsa City or AZ Alkmaar, but I actually have faith in Dundee United to actually get something and potentially go through to the Conference League group stages. To be fair to Dundee United and Motherwell, I mean, they have been handed tough enough draws. I mean, like AZ Alkmaar and Sparta Prague and all those sort of teams. It's not good, you know. Like, they're sort of teams you'd expect Rangers to be fucking playing, you know, like in playoffs and shit, like we've seen it in previous years. You know, like, I expect the Conference League, they'll get an easy enough run. But, they haven't, but, end of the day, Dundee United, they've signed Stephen Fletcher, him and Tony Watt, I mean, what year is it, 2012? And then Dylan Levitt, they've got him on a permanent deal, and they've not really got rid of anyone. You know, they've kept a hold of, most of their team, I mean, but they have lost Benjamin Seaghurst, which is he's a good goalie, but, you know, Dundee United, I feel like are just strong enough to finish 4th. Into the top 3. A lot of talk about that Hearts could potentially get into the top 2. You know what? If Hearts weren't in Europe, because they're actually guaranteed 8 games, they could maybe do something. We have seen it in the past, 5 years. You know, Hearts have been top of the league for a decent amount of the season in some seasons. I think it was Gerrard's first season and then last season. Hibs as well were up there. But this season, I think Hearts are still going to finish 3rd. Will it be as a distant 3rd? Will they be closer to the top 2 than the rest? I doubt it. But I'm predicting Hearts to do well in Europe, guys. I think they'll get a couple of wins in the groups. And here, though, I'm going to go 3rd. But now it is into the top 2. It's the 2 you all came for. In terms of the summer windows, who's had the better window? I'd probably say Rangers have obviously lost the better players, but I think Rangers' business has arguably been better to a degree. You know, like Celtic have brought in Moy in the left back, and Yanez, or what's his name? The German guy, I can't remember how you pronounce his name right. They're all good. They're alright. But in terms of who they've lost, the Rangers obviously lose that. They've lost Bastien and Aribo. But in terms of an attacking threat, Rangers just look a lot more, we looked stagnant at times last season, predictable. And I just feel like with Matondu, Lawrence, Tillman, and the rest of them, I think Rangers will be doing alright. So for that reason, I'm going to go in 2nd place, Celtic. And I'd said this last season. I thought it was definitely more of a case that Rangers threw the league away last season with inconsistencies, rather than Celtic, were fucking completely outstanding. Celtic were still really good, but I just feel like Rangers should have won the league last year, and they didn't. But you know what? Celtic did. You've got to be there to win it, and they did. And Celtic, they get all the rewards. Champions League group stages guaranteed. I still think Rangers will get into the group stages, But nonetheless, I also still think they're going to win the league. So there you have it. We are the people. No surrender. Rangers top the 2022-23 season.